Hey, John, how are you? Doing fine.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. We're going to start by singing our national anthem, and then our scouts will lead us in our play. So, they're really
Join me in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of a bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We've got one missing.
Would everybody please repeat after me? We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. All right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two.
that will remain standing for our invitation. Will you fight for it?
Bow with me. Dear God, we ask for your blessing upon all the scouts around the world who serve to live by the values of the Scouting. Guide them on their journey in learning and growth. Help them to develop their skills, leadership, and character. May they always be prepared to serve the community, and may they find joy and fulfillment in the Scouting adventures. Grant them safety and protection, and may they always be surrounded by good and faithful friends. Amen.
Mr. Chair now, so transitioning right up to the top of the. We've got some guests here today, and most of them go out by Curtis Brown, so I'd like to announce those first. Roy Harris, if you stand please. There he is, sir. Right here. We've got Jim Wood, please. Jim, thank you for being here, Jim. We've got it's Hank Durham. See you, sir. We've got Dan Davis. Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for being here to support Scouting and Rotary. Also, we have Ramsey, Deborah, mom is here. Oh, there she is. There. Thank you for being here. And we have Judge Vigilante. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, sir. All right, so that, which actually Eddie Morrison brought you. So thank you for that. And I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Join me in welcoming our guests to Rotary. All right. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I was excited for the chilly weather and excited when I got here to see the chili. It's really delicious. So any of you Chiefs fans who are still mourning yesterday's game, help yourself to another bowl and drown. I don't have my head in the game. particular team that I follow. I let my son pick before every Super Bowl game, and yesterday he picked the Eagles, so I don't know if that means something. But anyway, next we're going to do some birthdays. Our February birthdays are Channy, I see you in the back, Aaron Bronstein, David Dow, Miss Virginia Dupuy, Chris Dyer, Tom Hill, our K. Paul Holt, Nancy Livingston, and Lisa Saxidian. Sorry about that. Now, if you would join me, Larry, lead us in happy birthday to our Rotarians.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Next, I'd like Kurt Fox to come up and introduce a new member.
It's my pleasure to introduce to the group Darian Shop. Darian is come to us from Minnesota. And he is in the risk insurance industry. He is a junior partner with Levitt Group here in Waco office. Levitt Group actually took over for J&H Insurance, which Jackson Farm took over for them. And he is right. His wife, three little children, live in the Shining Point area. And family believes that their child soon. Please welcome Darian Shop. This is your welcome packet. It has your certificate of membership, a short receipt, everything you know about Rotary. Thank you for agreeing to be.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be part of here. I do come from the north, so I am often blamed for winters. Ever since I came here, winter seems to follow me. But it's been a pleasure getting to know Waco. When we had purchased J&H, my boss contacted us. We were 30 days away from closing a home in Houston. We had relocated to Houston. And he asked me, "What do you know about Waco?" And I said, "I remember tanks and building being blown up." That's all I knew. Because when I was young, I remember seeing all the news articles about Waco and all that had happened. But it's been a pleasure coming here. It's more like the Midwest, where I come from, in Waco, than it is Houston or anywhere else. So we fit right in, straight towards the water, and never look back. It's been a great place for us to raise a family as well. Coming from Minnesota, and all the turmoil that the Twin Cities had, it's been nice to have something stable as well. So I look forward to getting to know each one of you, and I do want to be a part of the community. That's important to me as well, especially coming from the north. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
I also escaped Houston 6 years ago. Enjoyed it. Great, best decision I ever made. All right, without further ado, we have a great program for you today. I am going to hand it off to Wendell, who's our program chair today, to get us going.
Hi, thanks for having me. And it's always a pleasure to be here. Rotarians. Now that we have scouting, I know we have a lot of Eagle Scouts, and past Scouts, and Cub Scouts, and photo finish, but we're here to get familiar with you. A relationship that's happening between our PAC and our Youth 456. Rand, can you probably give a little bit more information on that? But anyway, I want to make sure that everyone in the room gets a chance to know each other. Thank you, sir. And what we're doing is scouting. So I'm going to give a little bit of an overview, and I'll turn the mic over to Ramsey and have some other individuals that will probably want to say a little something about scouting. But anyway, a lot of change in scouting right now. I have transitioned from a district commissioner to district chair, which is part of the key three in our district. We make most of the decisions by committee, but our goal is to provide the best possible program and services we can to our scouts. In doing so, we have to have great relationships with our charter organization. And right now, this club is a charter organization with Boy Scouts of America, now Scouts of America. And we are evolving in a very positive way because we've let young ladies come into this, and I know there's a lot of controversy about that. But over the years, our goal was to keep our families together. And we noticed that if we didn't keep the families together, we were going to lose a lot of scouts. And over the years, we tried to make the best adjustments possible to allow our scouts to have the greatest experience, a real life experience with friendships that you can make through scouting that endure forever. So I feel that though the challenges in the past have been very difficult, in some cases ultimately almost unnecessary, I feel that we're looking at a much better horizon for opportunities for our scouts to grow and to make long-term friends. So at this point, our district is going through a growth process. We're looking to develop these type of relationships with other organizations within our community, as well as bringing on some folks that maybe haven't been in scouting for a long time, that have some experience that they've had, bring to scouting, or spend a little time helping our scouts along their life path. That's the beauty of being in scouting. Once you're in scouts, you're always in scouts. So at this time, I'd like to bring Ramsey up and talk a little bit about what's going on with Unit 456. He's the representative who will come to our Rotary meeting, give a small update on how the units are going, and without further ado, turn over to Ramsey.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ramsey Zveda. I am a member of the board of directors this year, and I was tasked with, as Randall said, serving as the charter organization representative. That means that I'll be assisting with oversight of Unit 456, Cub Scout Act, as well as the boy and girl troops. So we just ensure that the committees have their key three members, they're trained, that they're conducting the program in a manner that is good for the scouts, and representing all the qualities of scouting, which, as I've seen, really align closely with the values that we hold in the Rotary. So I think that so far it's been a good experience. We're in the process of getting the PAC and troop transitions over. They're currently chartered with the Longhorn Council, which is the council that oversees this area. They'll be moving over shortly, probably in the next several weeks. And I'll be working with them, ensuring that the leaders that are on those committees have good plans for the year. They've just the troop has just finalized their calendar for the next scouting year. And that's just all the outings that they take their scouts on. Here in the community, you may see scouts out placing flags for national holidays. That's something that 456 has. Each unit has different flag routes, but that's definitely something that's important to them. It's a way that they fundraise as well, so that they can pay for their dues and camping outings, all sorts of things like that. We also conduct other events. I'm sure some of you are familiar with things like Pinewood Derby. My son's Cub Scouts PAC just had their Pinewood Derby this past weekend. So opportunities like that for kids to get involved, engage in some hands-on activities, and just get together with each other, learn some skills, and obviously interact with adults and members of the community that can help guide them as they are developing. So it's a great opportunity. I'm glad to have the opportunity and enjoying working with the group so far, and looking forward to I think helping this back. Since my son is actually a paraglider, so I'll be transitioning over into the troop. But it's been a great experience for him. I know he's enjoyed it and enjoyed the friendships that he's developed over the past few years, and so I'm really excited about helping other kids have that opportunity, and thankful to Rotary for taking on that responsibility and ensuring that these kids are going to have good programs. And I think we've already talked about with the board opportunities for us to involve them in some of our community service projects. When I first got involved with Rotary, we had opportunity to cook hot dogs for the walk to limit suicide. My son joined us and assisted there. I think it's good to have those chances for kids in the community to get involved in the types of projects that we as Rotary do. Do you want to
Thanks, Billy. And just so you know, there's a lot more people in this room that help make this possible. If we put forward our Rotary board, we stand up real quick because Hayes and a number of us, work together almost to the point where we're tirelessly working just to make sure this is a good match. Anybody else that was on our board, Rose, there we go. Yes, good to see you again. So it took a team of people, including me as well, and the president, to really look at, is this a good match? Well, I'm not there. Yeah, it's a long time, a long relationship that's happened between Rotary and Boy Scouts. It goes back to the early 1910, even before then, Paul Harris and James Eagles. We were going around looking for places to open new clubs and also have charter relations together with scouting. So this isn't something new for overall Rotary Club as well as scouting. It's just something that we're renewing now. Chris, McLeod, and Phil Alexander, and Brody, our goal on the scouting side is to make this very seamless and a very positive experience for everybody because it has been for over 100 years. So our goal is to obviously recruit and all of you to make it even better for the scouts and go forward. Not a lot of responsibility for our club members, but mostly just be there as members supporting what we're doing. So I'd like to bring Ms. Flip Alexander up here, if you wouldn't mind. She is our district commissioner. She has assumed my old spot. So we've been playing a little bit with the chairs of the seats of the leadership within the district. And I'd like to have her just give a little bit of an update of what's going on her side from the commissioner's standpoint. So
So I'm Flip Alexander, and I've been scouting for about 6 or 7 years now and have been able to see the direct impact, not only with my own kiddos, but also the kiddos that we help mentor through the program. And I have to share the story that honestly did happen yesterday, and I feel like I was supposed to be there yesterday. So we had something called Scout Sunday, and it's where we do celebrate the anniversary of scouting, 115 years. And so for my son and daughter's birthday, or party through with Farm Council, and also they get to use, and they are supported by First Methodist down off the top. So we couldn't do that without them helping our units out. And I know Virgil here and Dr. Morrison, we're grateful for you all because you all are part of that process of bringing up these youth. But I can't make it up that at the end of the ceremony that I was at, which was the first ceremony, a gentleman stood up off script, and he's in his 60s, and he gets up and he's like, this is a situation where I'm going to ask for forgiveness after the fact, but I have to say something. And he starts talking about the Scout law. And so there's 12 points of the Scout Law: trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And all those words, one thing I want to point out is that for 115 years, those character traits are still what brings our society and our community together and benefits everything. And so those are the points that we're hoping to support these kiddos with in all ages. But going back to his story, he talks about he still remembers his Eagle Scout project. And at the time, his church could not afford yard service. And so he organized yard service for a certain amount of time for his church. He still remembers that. And he still makes a joke about, he knows he gave his parents a little bit of gray hair, helping them through that process. Because I don't know if you know what goes into an Eagle Scout project, but there's actually 3 reports that these kids work on. And I do call them kids because we're helping them mature. We're helping them grow up. We're helping them to support us as we get older. And it's huge. But it's not an easy thing. I mean, they go and they work with adults. Seeing my daughter go through, she's an Eagle, and seeing her go through the process was amazing. Because you step out as a parent and you see them work with adults, and they get it. There's time constraints, there's money constraints, there's all these adult perspectives that they are going through. We're setting that bar for them high to work through these difficult challenges. But so that when they get to be older, they don't see these as challenges at all. They understand that's a part of life, but we're all in it together. We're all working together. And so this gentleman talks about the first point, right, and the last point. And so those are the ones that you remember the most, the points of the Scout Law. But again, I thought it spoke volumes, and I felt like I was supposed to be there listening to that message. Even though I didn't have to be there, I could have just said my kids and that sort of thing, but I went there. And I feel like that message I needed to share with other people this week about scouting. Because here in our local area, it's called the Heart of Texas District. We have events that are happening for little kids, big kids, for the community. Because we feel like scouting is for all. Because once we have a youth join scouting, that's a win for that youth. And as a parent, it helps supplement my parenting, even though I feel like I'm a pretty good parent. But the different adventures they get to go on, the different merit badges, the information they learn, it's just a benefit for them. So I really do appreciate Rodeo. Thank you for Rotary. Thank you so much for being able to support this unit and these units, because you may not see the children that you are helping, but just know it is helping, and it's amazing. And I think it's an amazing reflection, and it shows our community and other organizations how they can get involved. So thank you very much, and I appreciate your time here, and appreciate how much you're helping these kids in our area.
Thank you so much. Thanks for everything you do. Just so everybody knows, we're not paid for this. This is from our heart. We actually do this because we have a passion for making our community better, and also improving the lives of people, young people, and advancing them forward to become as successful as they can in their lives. I'd like to bring up Brody. Brody's our district executive, so he's actually compensated for being here. And he holds it all together. He's the one that makes sure that we're staying on track and is organized.
Thank you, Randall. So yes, my name is Brody Gessie. I've met several of y'all. I am the district executive for the Heart of Texas area. All the pictures you see up here are all pictures from our district. These are all local kids represented in the Waco community. This was actually an event that we held at the ladies Baylor basketball game on January 9th. So we are out there actively in the community. You will see lots of scouts doing different activities throughout the community, participating in different capacities. Just as a raise of hand, I'm curious, how many, if you are an Eagle Scout, please raise your hand. So we have a lot of Eagle Scouts in this room, and we want to make sure that we carry those traditions on and forward into the new generations and bringing it forward. We are actively building up the Heart of Texas District, and we are building up scouting in every one of y'all's community. We are a huge district, and we actively participate in several of those community events. If y'all have any desire to help with those aspects as far as assisting with different committees or helping out different units, please feel free to reach out to myself, Randall, or Chris, and we can definitely get you connected with the right people to find a place for you to assist those units. Make sure that I also want to let Rotary know that on April 12th, we will be having, April 10th, we will be having our annual Silver Eagle Luncheon, which will be held in honor here at Lee Lockwood Library in this exact room. Our honoree will be Kyle Huber this year. So he will be giving a presentation, and we will be honoring him for his service to the community and building back Waco up. And that's all I have.
I guess now we'll make it fun since we've already exposed all our Eagle Scouts. I would like to have a couple of you guys stand up and give us some trail stories or something that maybe as a scout that changed your life. So some of these other younger scouts and some of the other folks here in the room can hear how scouting has changed in a way that you feel that maybe you be a better person, maybe you be a better father, maybe you be a better friend. You guys have something I'd love to have at least one of you guys stand up. Somebody who's, you want to give them a shot? I'll bring the mic to you and you guys can just give a quick one. And just one story. I mean, I can tell you a lot of stories, but I'd love to hear something from some of our Eagles. Okay? Anybody want to go first? Go.
I think the 12 Scout Laws was great. I did great on 1 through 11.
I always had trouble with reverence. So I just didn't say that one out loud when we went through all the Scout laws. Okay?
Well, wasn't prepared for this, but appreciate Curtis inviting us to join today. And I grew up in Comanche. My dad was a scoutmaster, and so he had been involved in scouting in his early years, and he was a scoutmaster for 30 or so years. And I was impressed that he remained a scoutmaster long after I got out of scouting and came to Baylor and still felt it was a part of enough. And so that made a big impression on me. And yeah, the scout laws, I think, did stick with me and were something that I tried to live by and did make me better, I think a better person, a better father, and I appreciate all the scouting has done for me.
My name is Dan Davis. I was a scout as a boy and was privileged to go to Philmont and be Eagle Scout. Then when my two sons were of age, we started a troop. Jim Morton and I started 497 here in Waco, and it's still an ongoing enterprise as well in Waco. I want to tell you a little bit about life after scouting. Of course, we had many adventures with our sons in scouting, and then when they all grew up and went off to college, we looked at each other and said, you know, we can still go camping. And so we started a group. We called it Brotherhood of Old Tired Scouters, which is a food. And so we, over the years, we did a lot of canoeing, backpacking, kayaking, just anything that we wanted to do. And we developed a couple of mottos I want to tell you about real quick. The first one, when we realized that we did late in the day and we still had a lot to do, we came up with the motto, cook before dark. That served us very well over the years. And then our latest member, we have 9 members now when everybody shows up, but our latest member brought us this motto, and he brought it to us after we had had an adventure of canoeing, paddling loaded canoes, overloaded canoes across a lake in Canada with 3-foot waves. And it was better to go like this than in some senseless tragedy.
thank you for Rotary for adopting these units. That's great. I could talk all day, I'll spare you that, but I'll share with you briefly. How scouting had a direct effect, direct application in my life that's beneficial. When I first went to summer camp, my first summer, I took swimming and life saving. You had to have swimming, fire life saving, but they let me take them at the same time. And I failed life saving. The only very bad ever failed. So I went back the next summer and I got it. The next summer I went back as an in-training counselor and I got scout lifeguard. And then fast forward, this road trip with some high school buddies and ended up saving the guy that ended up being my best friend's life when he was drowning in Padre Island. Anyway, so there were some direct applications there.
Hello, I'm Roy Harris. I'm kind of I grew up in the panhandle of Texas, and my town was Canyon, Texas, just south of Amarillo, and it is on the rim of Paladura Canyon. Some of you may not know about Paladura, but Paladura is the second largest canyon in the United States. So it is a good place for a boy to go and to camp and have a good time down there. A couple of stories I'll tell you about my experience. In the Panhandle, there's not a lot of rain, so you can camp out without tents. And we would often go down into the Paladura Canyon and camp out along the creek bed. And we didn't take a tent with us. We would just put our sleeping bags out on the ground with the ground cloth and go to sleep. So one camping time, we were out there and we had our troop laying out all across the ground and the packs were laying out. And late at night, I heard some rustling going on. And I was kind of peeked outside of my sleeping bag, and there was a whole bunch of skunks. And they were snooping around in our packs trying to find something to eat. And I was so afraid that one of those scouts was going to wake up and do something that would make an awful big mess if they were to raise the skunks and make them concerned about their safety. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But then another time we were having a camporee out in the canyons, and as you know, in camporees you have different contests. Well, we went to sleep that night, and we were in a tent at that time because it was March. And I woke up early one morning and stretched underneath my tent, and all of a sudden I grabbed a big handful of snow. And the March blizzard had blown in during the night. And we had to do that camporee in a blizzard. And one of my contests was to do the compass trade. And so we had to do the compass, and we could see about from here to that table. So it was quite a challenge to do all the different legs of that compass course to get a good grade. They had grades A, B, and C. So we got an A, but we had to work awful hard to do that. And the other contest I had was signaling. We had to send a signal to a group of scouts way on down the road. And we had to wait for the snow to clear so we could see enough to understand what the message was that we sent. So those are some of the experiences that I enjoyed while I was a scout. Thanks for listening to us.
Roy. So I was a Cub Scout, a Boy Scout, and then 6 in our troop where I grew up in Great Prairie State and Explorer Scouts. And we took on as a project to build a canoe, a fiberglass canoe. And then another one, and we built 6 canoes, and we would, 6 of us would go every summer on a 1 to 2 week float trip, different segments of the Brazos River and around the rivers of Texas and Arkansas, Washington. So we didn't write a book about any of our bivouacs, but John Graves did. So if you haven't read Goodbye to a River, we experienced some of the same places he did in that. Anybody else?
Anybody else at that table?
Jim?
Jim Davis, just a quick story. I grew up in rural Oklahoma, and scouting was one of the few activities besides drinking and other stuff. So one of the things that I enjoyed most was my ice skating class. And it came in handy. We were, my wife and I, were kind of babysitting our grandson, and he was in the short end of the pool. And kind of got into trouble. So remembering the first rule of life saving was don't jump in the water, I pushed my wife in. She got in.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good protector. I would like to be the last one to
He's active right now. He's still active with this group and doing a phenomenal job. Ed Morrison is an impact player within our community, not just in scouting, but he's in life. Most of us know him extremely well, but it's the things you just don't see that are going on within the scout group that he's doing that make a difference in scout life. And I just figured, since you've had a lot of real experience, you could give us, round it out, finish it up.
Well, this reminds me of the time we had Camboree, it was Sunday morning, and we were all gathered for the flag ceremony. And the guy who was in charge of everything said, we're supposed to do chapel this morning. And everybody looked around, and nobody said anything. It was Paul, and I was at the very back of the whole group, multiple troops, and the guy looks right at me and says, Dr. Morrison, you can always give us, So, yeah, called it the chapel. But no, I guess I was just looking here at the back of Garden. This will just finish on some of the different note. Looking at the back of Garden Brewery's head, and we were camping out at his ranch. And camping with a car means you share your tent with his dog, which is a lot of fun. And then we woke up that morning. We're all talking about the weather, and believe it or not, Boston County, December. Water bottles freeze solid when it gets cold enough. And so we woke up to frozen water, not just a rim of ice, but frozen water that great to camp out. But no, I still love it. I still have great kids and great parents, and just a lot of good relationships, and always enjoy seeing our guys that become Eagle Scouts and go on and graduate. What they're doing, and see them grow up and running into it. They should be running into their parents. They should be giving a good report. So thank you all very much, and thank you for getting together to do it again. Yeah.
Really, thank you. And thank you, all Eagle Scouts. I know there's a lot more stories, but that's for later. Our goal here is obviously bring us all together. It's not just the stories that we have on the trail, it's all the other things that are going on. Ed was saying, we get called upon to do different jobs and responsibilities, things that show up that we just wouldn't expect. And by the way, if you don't know what this outfit is, this is a country crew. This is a group of basically co-ed scouts that go out and they basically define themselves and what they want to do. It is scout-led, but they're at that stage where they're making decisions on their own, and it's nice to see that they can choose what they want to do. They want to go film on, they want to go sea base, they want to go wherever it is. They define that, they go out and raise their own money. So right now, I'm currently a committee chair on a unit out in Clifton that need a little bit of help. And the goal is we all fit in to the holes, we try to fill those holes as we can. And even though I may be in transition a little bit right now in this position, I hope to see that we can find solid successors that can give us new definition and give new guidance for where we need to go in scouting, so I appreciate everything. Thank you. Okay, here you go, Madam President.
Does anyone have any questions that you'd like to ask our Boy Scouts? Well, they'll be hanging around, and I can't thank you guys enough. Chris, Flip, I actually worked for Vanguard with Flip 22 years ago when I was an intern at Patillo, and now I'm a partner over that area, and it took me a whole, till you got up here, and I went, Flip, yeah, we did, so that was fun, but we're glad you're here. Ramsey, guys, thanks for being here. Darren, we're excited to have you as a part of Rotary. Harold, I appreciate your help with introducing them. And Randall, Brody, thank you. And thank you so much to everyone who shared your stories. We may need just to have a Rotary program called Pass the Mic, and we'll just put up topics and let you guys tell stories, because that was incredible. I do have one favor that I would put forward to all of you. If there's someone that you know is a Rotarian and you haven't seen them in a while, would you do me a favor and check on them? Just check on them. How are you doing? Ask them to come eat lunch with you at our next Rotary meeting, which is going to be February 24th. We're going to have a program on the Japanese internment camps. I'm super excited about that. And I think it will be a very interesting program. Welcome to all of our guests. Thank you so much for being here. You're welcome anytime. And now, if you all stand with me to recite our forward. If the truth is